Okay. Sana sai moya. Hi everyone, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I began the day by saying hi in Atlantean language because um, we we received the message in that language, and so this is why I guess we needed to begin like that. So just for you to say hi in the Atlantean language from this region, I say sana, which is the contraction of another word, which is sana nhet edna, that means may the universe lives through you and protect you and expressing you and so on. So the contraction is sana, and it's kind of like saying hi, hello. It is SANAH, sana. So I hope you are listening to me, that we have a good connection. So first of all, the person that talked to us yesterday was not taught. It was a master. It was another one. Okay. So it's like a school, and taught is like the director of the school, and this one was a master, a teacher in the school. Okay. So the image, so you could understand the image of this person. It is like if, for example, I am a teacher, okay, and I'm in a classroom, doing a class, giving a class in a school as a teacher, and there comes the master, okay, the professor, the master of the school that supervise the teacher and the class. So he entered the classroom to ask, how are you doing? What are you doing? What have you learned until now? So it was kind of like this. It was kind of like supervising what have we done and what we are doing and how we are going. The dialect that he spoke, the language that he spoke, it was an Atlantean dialect used in the north of the Nile in the Atlantean times. So one of the things that he said as he began at the very beginning, he said, La'adlak emesden. La'adlak emesden means the first law of the universe is the mentalism, the mind. And you can do whatever you want with it. You can imagine whatever you want. You are free. So feel free to do whatever you want with your mind, with your imagination. But you have to acknowledge that you can be trapped in the infinity of your own mind. So coherence is the way in which you find the path within that eternity, so you don't get lost and you can work perfectly. So that was his advice, and his advice was very precise to all of us in this very moment. So to try to explain what he said, what he try to say is that we must remember that the first law of the universe is mentalism. So mentalism is talking about the mind, that the universe is only mind, and that the mind is so wide that there's no limitations on the mind. Nobody can take you what you think. Nobody can take you what you have inside. So this is the only freedom that you have. Your own thoughts, your own imagination is your only freedom. So that's why you can do whatever you want to do with your freedom. To whatever. It's free. But it's so much that we can be so free in that eternity that we can get lost in that eternity. This is why the universe limits itself in patterns. The patterns help the infinity to find a way, a path. Okay? So what he said is coherence is the way in which you can put order in those patterns. The patterns, by that, can help you to move forward in the infinity of your mind. That would be the advice he gave. And then another thing, and here's when we have to be very serious and to pay a lot of attention. So let's have this image. Let's have this image of schools that I used before. So you picture this. You are there, like the students. You have a teacher here giving a class, and then you have the supervisors that come sometimes to see how we are doing, teach something, they leave. And then you have the directors that they don't usually come. They only come for big events or important moments. So he said, we are like part of one school. So we are a school, and this is the school with all the students that are listening to you. So everyone listening and feeling and resounding with you, they are part of our school. So we are like kind of the supervisors and directors and masters of this school that you have here. But there are many schools around the world. We have schools in India with the gurus. We have other schools of spirituality in Europe. We have other schools in in North America with the Native Americans. The schools of initiations of the Andes. We have so many schools, and each school has its own masters, its own teachers, and they are teaching in a different way their own knowledge. Okay. So he said that soon, next year, and also in between next year and 2022, all the schools are getting prepared for kind of an exam or a job that everyone must do together. So each one is preparing itself in its own areas to do their part. And this is a team work on education. So each one of the schools are like universities. So each one has its own area of expertise. So some of them are engineers, the other school or university is for architecture, the other ones are doctors, the other ones are philosophers. Each school has its own expertise. But we all, somehow, in a moment, we have to work all together. So, but to work together is not that everyone has to be in the same place. To work together is to acknowledge that each one of the other schools are doing what they are supposed to do. And each one of these schools work like a wheel, like this, okay, in a clock. Yeah. And what he said was, we have to work hard, because in this mission that we all share, there is no school that shouldn't be aligned. Everyone must do its work. So there's no possibility to fail, because if one fails, the whole clock stops. So he said, you have 9 months to finish your studies. After the studies comes practice. And after the practice, the exam. So what we are doing here are basically two things. The main one and the most important one is that we are working for ourselves, for who we are. So it doesn't matter what is going to happen in 9 months. It doesn't matter what is going to happen in 2022. It doesn't matter what is going to happen any moment. Okay? It doesn't matter. Because what we are doing here is working in ourselves. Nothing else matters. But the second one is that they say, okay, if you are working in yourself, so you will realize that you are part of a bigger thing. So when you become coherent, whatever you do starts to affect the rest. So this is why we know that we can work with you in the whole thing, in the whole environment, not only in the self. So we start to be in service. So one thing to say about this, what we are doing here, okay, is to work with ourselves. But no one that is listening to this, no one that is doing everything that we are doing here, every alignment, everything, no one is obligated to be on service, because service is not by obligation. Nobody can tell you what to do on service. Nobody, because service only comes from the heart. We are here to work in ourselves, and if within you awake the coherence and the potential of saying, I want to be in service for the rest, so we will do the job when the time comes. Okay? But no one here watching this must feel obligated to be pushed to do something if they don't feel it, if you don't feel it. Okay? That's the main thing to know. So you don't feel the pressure of doing something that you don't feel. Okay? Nobody can tell you to be in service. That's only something that comes from your heart, from your own self, when the time comes. So this is something that I am saying, to you, not them. They are saying we have come here with a responsibility. So yes, of course, we have a responsibility, but responsibility is not equal to obligation to do something. Okay, so you are not obligated to do anything. This is service through responsibility. So by saying this, let's go to speak about anger. So just to let you know, all this that we're in and the 9 months coming ahead, this is all time to prepare, to study. Okay, what we are doing now is to study. So this is what we are doing now. But then we have next year, August, September, October, November, December, and January 2022. These 6 months will be for practice. I have no idea what is the practice, so don't worry about it now. Just let's go into study, okay? So this topic that we are going to discuss today is deep but easy, I guess. So let's go to the point. So anger, we relate this emotion as if it is against love. It's like the lower violent energy from below of our body that press and pushes to the war, to fight, to rage. Okay. So by culture, of course, we have said that anger is something wrong and something negative that we have to get rid of. But as always, and with every concept, what we are going to do today is to talk about the positive aspect of anger. So first of all, let's try to understand what anger means. Anger comes from the word ang in European languages, that it means to be repressed, trapped, like pressed, compressed in one spot. So in Latin, we have another root for this word, which is ira, that comes from ace. Ace means a very fast movement. That's what it means. Something very violent and very quick, fast. So these two concepts are very important to understand the rage, the anger of which we are going to speak about. So this energy, the energy of the vitality, the vital energy that is created in our body, is all created in our genitals. And from the genitals, it comes up going to the head, okay? But all this energy that comes from below is based on the need, is based on the desires. So all the energy that is created there is created by the impulse. It's impulsive energy that is willing to get stuff, that is willing to take action. And this energy is so impulsive that most of people that are talking about spirituality perceive or have perceived this energy as something that is wrong, as something that it doesn't allow us to connect with the spirit, because it's all related to the ego, all related to the desire, to the needs, and we had to get rid of that or control that. So This is why through thousands of years, the spiritual people and the mind people, what they did was to try to control this energy, to control all these impulses, because they said this is not good, because this is from the ego, it's not spiritual. So we have to control it. What they did was to put all that impulse in a cage, because this impulse is so it's so errant, erratic. You have no idea what is going to happen. So that's why we call it error, okay? And because this is erratic, so an error, what we have to do is to control it, because this is the problem of all our conflicts, the origin of all our problems. That's why they call it the guilty one. And the guilty one is, in the Latin language, they call it son, which is sin in English, okay? So the sinners, okay, have this energy of the impulse. So what the people did in that time was to create by morality, by mind, by religion. They created a division of the body, call it this the pure, above, from the heart, and from the plexus, the impure. So what we had to do was to get rid of all the impure that we have in our body, all the desires, all the needs, and we call that the main sins of our society, so we could go into the spirit. So the problem that we had here is that all the pressure of energy that goes up to connect with the spirit is created in the genitals. So what happened with this energy is that these people, by culture, by religion, by laws, they got trapped this energy here, so it doesn't go up, and they do everything as possible to make it disappear, to put to turn off the fire. So the energy of the genitals cannot move, but against all expectations, this fire never ends. It is continually creating itself. So this means that the energy of the genitals starts to get more and more and more. So as much I try to set off the fire will try to go up. So we are not allowing this fire to move softly up, and we feel this fire going like in explosions, like pow, pow, exploding everywhere without a purpose. So the same energy that we create in our body, and that is pushing, impulsing us to go towards the spirit, is the same energy that we interpret as rage and anger. The explosion of all this vital energy that is trying to create, that's what creates chaos, destruction. Same energy. The same energy that is destined to create is the same energy that ends up destroying. What we have here now is that the reason why this energy creates this is by impotence. What is impotence? to be impotent basically comes from the word im and potent, okay, which means to have the will, to can, to be able to have the power. Okay, so this is impotence, means not to have power, which is the negative in not to have power. So if I press this energy and I am not allowing it to move, to set all its energy for what it was created for, which is to transform, to create, to manifest. So I take away the power of my own energy. And if I take away the power, I feel impotent. I cannot do anything. And so all this energy that was created to manifest, try to find a way out, and that's what we call anger and rage. Anger, basically vital energy accumulated by impotence, by being impotent. This is why anger in English means under pressure. And this is why anger in Spanish, which is ira, means a fast movement without any control. So what we have to learn today is that we are not here to get rid of anger and rage. We are not here to set ourselves free from those emotions. We are here to learn how to empower myself. So the way in which you empower yourself is by being fully aware of your own body, of your own emotion, and your own mind. So the first step would be to love your body, to take care of the body, what you do of your own needs, your desires, to take care of your body, what you eat, to take care of the tree of life, which is your family tree, all the conflicts that you received from your family, or all the diseases, the conflict that you have in your body, to learn to love your body and respect your body. Second one would be the soul, the emotion. So to recognize, what are my emotions? Which are them? What are my own emotions? What are the emotions that I inherit from the other ones? What are the emotions that I am oppressing inside of me? What are the emotions that control my life? So the mind would be thoughts, beliefs. What are my beliefs? What are my thoughts? What are the good ones, the bad ones? What is my truth? What are my lies? What do I say? What do I express to others? What I do shut up? What are my traumas? When I go through my body, my soul, and my spirit, is when I start to understand where I have a lack of power. And it's important to understand, to know that you cannot say, how can I get my power back, or how do I get empowered again? It's not like a blue or red pill. There's no placebo for empowerment. There's no therapy, there is no meditation, there is no one that can help you to get your power back. The only way you will get your power back is by acknowledging all the different parts where you had a lack of power. So you have to work a lot. You have to make a lot of inside work. You have to understand each part of yourself. And this is what we are trying to do here. Every day, taking a different information to understand, to watch, and to take a side inside of us. Because we have to make this kind of self-analysis of all that we have to understand where we have a lack of. The only way you can get the power back is not by taking it from somewhere outside. It's by acknowledging where do you have that lack inside, and why do you have that lack of power. So empowerment is not something that you just activate one day to another. It's something you have to practice. It's constant. It takes a lot of time. This is why this implies a lot of auto-analysis, a lot of self-observation. So this is not that in 2 years, or 1 year and a half, when we do this task all together, that's it, we did it. No, what we did was a job that we had to do all together. That's why we are preparing ourselves. But after that, at the next day, we'll keep going. We are just getting united to make a job together, but at the other day, life keeps going. And the work inside keeps moving by your own, in your own life. So this is why I invite you to think about what are all the emotions and the energies that you are keeping trapped inside of you because of shame, culture, religion, beliefs. Because all of that is the energy that you need, that now it's anger or rage. So to understand that there is no one way of showing rage or anger. It's not only the people that say, no. It's also the people that just look like this to someone, like, that's also rage. There are people that express their anger hurting the other ones, and there are people that they don't express their anger and they only hurt themselves. So this is why when you think about anger, the anger you have is because you are feeling impotent, that you feel that you are not being able to do something, that you don't have the power to do something, to be in action. So the question would be, who told you that you cannot do it? Who told you that you don't have the power to do something? Or when was the moment that you started to believe that you don't have the power to do something? So first go to that moment and that person. And in that moment you say, well, I will do it. And you do it. So as this being said yesterday, I can think and believe anything that I can do. I can do whatever, but only thinking or believing it, it is like imagination and it's eternal and I can get lost there. This is why the only way to accomplish that is by doing it, by action. When I start to act, I take my power back. So I don't need rage and anger anymore. The vibration for today is Vo. The code for today is the 11th dimension. The information records manifest dimension, where all times become information that codificate spaces. This means the parallel dimensions best. If in the 8th dimension all the possibilities of every dimension can be contemplated, in the 11th dimension they become real and coexist. So let's go to the alignment. We begin moving our shoulders in circles to discharge the tension. And I take deep breathings, letting all the weight fall down. I just focus on my breathing. I become aware of the light around me, shining outside and within my being. I take a moment to perceive all the people that I know around me, the good ones, the bad ones, according to my point of view. The closest ones and the farthest ones. All around me. Without any distinction, I perceive how my inner light surrounds each one of those people, and how this brightest light reflect in each one of them. I recognize that all these people is part of my own body, of my own mind, with the shape of an ocean. And each one of those people are just a wave in the surface of the water. take a deep breath and dive with the waters, going through the conscious and the unconscious, perceiving the light rushing above as you get deeper into the shadows, the darkness of the subconscious, going down to the depth. As I get deeper, I perceive the pressure of this ocean on me. This pressure is holding my potential, my power, keeping the energy in the shape of anger. What are the angers that you recognize within the subconscious? What are the angers in your life? I recognize them and I set the intention. I decide to activate my rage, my anger, and get back my power. I desire to empower. And I resound in my desire. I am the transmutation of gold. I am the transmutation of gold. I am the transmutation of gold. Harinama. Onam. Rashama. Taratama. Ashkan. Taretine. I am the sun. I am the light. I am the lioness. I am the power. Observe within my eyes. And you will see the power within you. My eyes are the sun and the moon. My eyes, the sun and the moon. And when my two eyes are united, you shall take the sleeping power back. Aharin, aheimun, haringkun, rahash, taret, ur esnur, sa, kullama, eilandi, taret, eushu, einai. Meb, aushib, las puertas se abrirán. The doors will be opened. Observe my eyes, the sun and the moon. Wake up, the sleeping power. Danama Teret Yo soy la madre del poder. I am the power's mother. Take a deep breath. And I bring all this consciousness through my body, caressing, stretching, and yawning, coming back here and now. Ooh. By the hand of the energy of Mother Lion, Sekhmet, we have the message to receive the power, part of that power, through the eclipse in December 14th this year. Thank you. See you, as always, tomorrow at the same time. Remember to pay attention to your dreams. See you tomorrow.